Wife's real partner post BACKFIRES. Divorce PAPERS and HRDESTROYED her. Hello everyone. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now let's begin the video. Using a throwaway for obvious reasons with certain specifics modified to preserve anonymity. That scene hit me like a freight train. No warning, no build-up, just a casual scroll on a quiet Saturday morning, still in my robe, watering the lawn like I've done every weekend for 27 years. The sun was barely peeking over the horizon, the coffee machine hissed softly behind me, everything felt normal, familiar, safe. Then suddenly my phone buzzed and everything changed. It was Alice, not directly but through a Facebook post, a photo of her in Dallas at a sales conference. In the picture she was with her office's golden retriever, an overly friendly, spineless lapdog. Had one arm around her shoulder, the other clutching two drinks, and her head tilted toward him as if they were doing a capture for an engagement shoot. Her hand rested on his chest with the caption, "My real partner," followed by the hashtag with two little hearts. The post had 57 likes, 16 comments, all sickeningly sweet. I stared at it, feeling overwhelmed. I couldn't help but laugh, a dry, breathless laugh that caught in my throat halfway through, like my body instinctively knew better than to breathe in all that poison. I didn't call her or text her. I didn't even yell. I didn't cry. Instead, I walked into the house, poured the rest of my coffee, and then opened the kitchen drawer to grab the beige folder I'd prepared 3 weeks ago. I wasn't expecting to do this, no. I still had some dignity back then. But everything changed after I overheard her giggling on speakerphone with late one night, whispering about if only you weren't married. That's when I started collecting receipts, initially emotional ones, then legal documents. The folder had everything: petition papers, disclosures, property division sheet. I'd called my lawyer. He was sharp and aggressive, and I slid the papers across the table as if I was laying down the final winning hand. Then I opened Facebook again and her post was still there, of course it was. I typed, "Congratulations, the divorce papers are on the kitchen table," and logged out. I went outside and resumed watering the grass, the sprinkler hissing like nothing had changed. But I knew better. That taste in my mouth wasn't just the water, it was burnt coffee and pennies. And if you're listening to this and you're one of the 98% watching without subscribing, maybe just hit the button. It keeps the team motivated to drop more of this cold, slow-burning justice. Back inside, I could hear the silence breathing, already wrapping around me. That night, just as predicted, she called, probably after a friend told her to check Facebook. Her voice was too cheerful, fake upbeat, the kind she uses when she knows she's caught but is acting innocent. "Hey babe," she said, dragging out the word, "I saw your little comment. You're not actually mad, right? It was just a joke. Everyone at the office calls work husband, it's just for laughs." I didn't interrupt her twisting her dance, letting her fill the awkward silence with nervous giggles and flimsy justifications. People give you a lot of rope when they don't realize they're hanging themselves. She kept saying it was just harmless and I was overreacting. When she finally paused for air, I simply said 3 words, "Check the kitchen." Silence fell for a second before she burst out laughing, probably thinking I was kidding. But I said nothing, just let her laugh, thin and shaky, behind that tight little smile. She insisted it was all an overreaction, just a dumb caption, and I guess she didn't realize I'd overheard her Tuesday night, calling at 11:37 p.m. from the laundry room, whispering, giggling, acting like a teenager sneaking a call. "You look so good today in that gray shirt," she had whispered, blushing, saying they should stop sneaking around. That night I called my lawyer and set everything in motion. I told him we weren't at the iceberg yet, but I could see it approaching. He advised me to start gathering evidence quietly: emails, financial records, insurance papers. When the time came, I had to move fast. Don't engage. I ended the call with, "Take care, Alice." I imagined her staring at the beige folder on the kitchen table, the legal seal, the cold facts, the absence of warning signs, just like her caption. Later that day, I was logged into my burner account, the one I used for Amazon returns, and Deals before we shared passwords. I looked at the screenshot I'd taken her with, that ridiculous "my real partner" caption shining like some neon confession. My comment underneath read, "Inappropriate conduct, your decision." Attached was metadata showing it was posted during the Dallas conference during work hours. I included a brief message. "I wasn't sure what your internal policies were, but this photo suggests a romantic relationship with a subordinate during a company event." I left the interpretation to them. I hit send, then closed my laptop. No fanfare, no sneer. To be clear, I didn't expect a reply. HR is slow unless there's a legal fire. Alice had mentioned before, dozens of times over wine, that her company had a zero-tolerance policy on undisclosed relationships, especially with power imbalances. Had been promoted last year, trained by her on her panel. The company just rolled out a respect, integrity, excellence campaign. When you publicly call your partner, while clinking champagne glasses on a trip they paid for, you're not just breaking rules, you're handing HR a golden platter. She didn't even realize. I went outside again, trimming the hedges, the birds chirped, the neighbor waved, a normal morning. But the background noise, the bureaucratic rumble in motion, was already starting. By 3:00 p.m. her Facebook post had vanished. I got a text from Dawn. "Bro, HR just opened a case." That night, while she probably sat in some hotel room drafting a weak apology, I sat down with a legal pad, a glass of scotch, and a checklist I'd been building since the laundry room call. First, transfer my 401k into a separate trust. Had walked me through it during a lunch that felt more like a military briefing. It was airtight, no claims on her part. Second, change the beneficiary on my life insurance. Her name was replaced with my sister, who's practical and raised 2 kids alone. She'd sign whatever paperwork comes her way. Third, split our bank accounts. She'd had access, but I changed that. Left enough in the joint account to cover utilities and the mortgage for a month, plus one last Hulu charge she'd notice. Next, cut off her credit cards. 2 of them, one in my name with her authorized. Nope, I got rid of that. She tried to swipe at the airport bar on her flight back, only to be declined with a cheerful "sorry, card declined." As I restructured everything, she sent a simple message. "Can we talk?" I stared at it, then muted the thread. She still thought this was a mistake she could fix. Maybe a few tears, a heartfelt talk, and everything would go back to normal. But this wasn't a sitcom. This was chess, and while she played the pawn, I'd already moved the queen, changed the game. I'd already canceled her insurance, cut the car access, separated the gym membership. Nothing spiteful, just careful architecture. Every signature, each account update, tools pulling the rug out from under her. She thought "I'm sorry" would fix it. Let her believe that longer. The longer she stayed in her bubble, the harder the pop when it came. Dawn called after lunch, voice low. "Bro, I was in the garage decluttering stuff from Obama's era, screwdrivers, dead batteries. The kind of task you do when your marriage is dead." He told me, "Bro, they're acting like a couple together. Same hotel room key, same breakfast table, same shuttle seat." I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but honestly everyone saw it. I asked one question. "Does her boss know?" Dawn paused, then said, "He does now. This morning he looked like someone told him his portfolio died." He said Alice claimed they were just close friends. Her lawyer said otherwise. Messages, photos, even off-site shots at a rooftop bar and in a hotel room during work hours, all time-stamped. Franklin, her boss, called her into a surprise meeting. She arrived early, 5 minutes, to see 3 chairs, him, HR's, pale and unreadable, and a woman in a tailored blazer holding a folder. She was stunned, hesitating at the door. Nodded, "Please sit." Alice sat stiffly, her smile brittle. The folder opened screenshots of her Facebook post, messages, and photos. Franklin cleared his throat. "Alice, we've reviewed some material that was brought to our attention." Her eyes widened. I could see the internal panic. "We're just close friends," she whispered. But the evidence contradicted her. Texts, pictures, timestamps. Her face went pale. Her lawyer blinked then. "This is about asset division and the conduct leading to this." The judge looked through the documentation, her financial disparity, contributions, and, finally, the evidence of misconduct. The words "cold," "surgical," were used to describe her actions contributing to the breakup. The ruling was swift. She lost everything. The house, the car, 70% of assets, no alimony, no discussion. Her lawyer whispered something to her and she sat frozen, no protest, just shock. She didn't just lose a marriage, she lost the illusion of being untouchable. She sat at the kitchen counter, refreshing her email, hoping for a comeback, a way out. Nothing, just a subject line, your return, Cinder. Her finger hovered, perhaps hoping for a reply with a glimmer of hope. Instead, she got an email, immediate termination, effective now. No signature, no apology, just cold corporate execution in bland. Her hand trembling, she read it again. Then finally she opened her mouth, unleashing a primal shriek that echoed off the walls like a bat in a box. I didn't flinch. I was in the den, listening to every word. I gently closed my laptop, took a breath, grabbed my gardening gloves from the hook, stepped outside into the sun. The air was still, roses bloomed early, grass was soft underfoot. For the first time in a long, long time there was silence, not loss, not absence, just peace. A peace she'd never understand.